So, what's supposed to be happening right now is a review of Modern Warfare 2 R, the rebooted version of Modern Warfare 2, a sequel to Modern Warfare R, the rebooted version of Modern Warfare 1. That is the intent and purpose behind this review. It's not often I have to clarify something like that, but here we are. Where do I begin? Let's look up some shooter info, shall we? Hang on, let's look up our shooters. Here we go. So let's see. Modern Warfare 2, the original, is the highest rated shooter, FPS of any type, that I've actually ever covered, at 239.02 golden number. That's very high. It's up there with Halo Reach and Modern Warfare R, the first one. All three of those are very good games, along with Titanfall 2 and the original Modern Warfare 1, as well as Halo 2, Halo 3, and there's a bunch of others we've covered. But those are all very high on the list. And Modern Warfare 2 certainly has some pedigree for me. It's a fantastic game that I love unabashedly and adoredly. So considering when we went through Modern Warfare 1R, and it was surprising, right? Like, we were all shocked by how good it was. It just kind of came out of nowhere and was like, oh, this is really, really good. Holy crap. I was really looking forward to Modern Warfare 2R. For those of you familiar with history, by the time we're here, now, Modern Warfare 3R has already come out and apparently is garbage. Now, we're going to shift lanes for a second. Bear with me, okay? Some of you may remember that recently I bought a game called Hitman 3. And by recently, I mean like 2 years ago when it came out. And I was really looking forward to Hitman 3, and lo and behold, it's a very good game. But then they decided to bake Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 into Hitman 3. Okay, no real issues there. They did a similar thing over in Warhammer, except they decided to do it in the most circuitous way possible. That meant, and this is not a joke, that though I had purchased and streamed Hitman 2 and purchased Hitman 3, the only Hitman game I owned was 1. So I had to buy Hitman 2 and 3 again for the recent review. I was not very happy about that. The reason why this happened is because they decided to bake all 3 games into one game, which then has a campaign selector in it. You just go and select, like the old RTS days, right? You could select between your Zerg, your Protoss, your Terran campaigns, and that's how that works. Makes a degree of sense. So, here we are with Modern Warfare 2R, which has been baked under, I think it's just called Call of Duty now. They just call it Call of Duty. And you just buy Call of Duty, and in that you can then buy each of the campaigns. But you have to actually load Call of Duty to load the campaign, which I just described. Make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. That's a stupid way to do it. But it's a very common technique, and a lot of companies have been doing the same general concept. The reasons why are multifold, but boil down to the very same basic concepts. First of all, they ensure you're always going through their launcher, which means they can scrape whatever you're doing for data and then sell that to other people to add a little bit of additional revenue to the company. Second of all, it makes sure that they can make sure that you're seeing all of their microtransactions through their store. No need to go through third parties or pay additional fees for you to buy stuff for their game. And of course, third of all, it plugs those very same microtransactions to make sure you're always being made aware of the latest sale and the best buy in order to make sure to get the best bang for your buck when it comes to microtransactions. Pause. Move over another lane. We have a policy on this show, which I rarely have to bring out because it's such a duh thing that most people don't even question it. It's very, very simple. I need to be able to physically procure a game. Or physically is the wrong word. I need to be able to procure a game in order to be able to stream it. I need to be able to get that game into a playable status to be able to stream it. And I need to be able to get that game into streamable status in order to stream it. This basic thing is what every single game has to go through. Some people say, oh, it's on Steam. Trust me, there's plenty of games on Steam that are not any one of these 3 things. So I need to be able to go through all these things to do this. Now, there's quite a few games I don't even check for this on. Usually more modern games. Games that were made in the last 10 or even 15 years tend to be just fine without any real need to rejigger or whatever. If there's some indie game or some recent thing or a WoW expansion or an FF14 expansion or FF16, I'll use a specific example, I don't feel the need to verify if those games are streamable, because of course they are. So I bought Modern Warfare 2R about a week and a half ago, and had some issues with that. But I got it purchased, ran through some issues, but was able to mostly smooth those out. Didn't actually get the game playable, but I figured out a way to get it playable, so I figured we'd be fine. It would be irritating, but I could do it. Enter today. So I couldn't get the game running. Not streamable, playable. The specific reason why Modern Warfare 2R is a game that I cannot get playable is because it has to load the overall Call of Duty launcher, the thing that is required in order to access all the other games. The Call of Duty launcher has tremendous issues with accessing it. Known issues, issues that are not specific to me, issues that are not specific to the specific version you're using. Whether you're playing this game on Steam or on Battle.net does not change the fact that you have to connect to the same launcher. That launcher is garbage. There are so many reports of how bad this is that I guarantee you that what has happened here is that after the merger, or possibly before the merger, someone somewhere decided to axe the entire support department for the Call of Duty and has left them just dangling on the vine. So the 2 or 3 people who are left there have no idea how to deal with these problems that absolutely currently still exist. Do me a favor, for those of you who care. Oh, it doesn't exist, Rax. Trust me, that's the first thing I tried. Do me a favor, go to Steam right now and look up Modern Warfare 2. The one you're looking for is the one that's got an M and a W with the 2 green lines in the middle. That's Modern Warfare 2R. Okay? Pull that up, glance at the reviews for 5 seconds. It will not take long to get the overall vibe. So, this game is not playable on the day it was supposed to be streamed. Now, normally this is when I'd apologize. I'm not going to, because this isn't my fault. If I walk out my door to go to my car and I fall through the sidewalk into, like, the nether realm, that's not my fault, because there is no reasonable expectation to presume that that sidewalk does not function as a sidewalk. The streamability gap and the concept thereof exists for a reason, and that's from over here, right? Years and years and years ago. We are almost 2 decades out of the streamability gap at this point. This game came out, what, 2 years ago? Yeah, this is something that is completely out of my hand. However, I've got one last little tidbit of this tale to tell you. And then we're going to talk a little bit. Because I went for a refund. So, like, I don't have to finish that sentence, do I? I really don't. So yeah, that money, it's about 75 bucks, was thrown into a hole. Burnt, as I like to call it. No, I didn't play it for more than an hour. In fact, I played it for 0 minutes. It was more than 72 hours ago when I bought the game. However, unlike Blizzard, or actually Activision in this case, if we're being very honest with ourselves, when I play something simple like Conquered. Well, I do like killing myself, Mad Overlord. But if I wanted to commit suicide on camera, I'd probably do something a little more worthwhile than Conquered. So here's the deal. Because I am not like Activision, I'm totally cool with refunding anybody's money they want if they want to. For people who put money towards this game. Because I can't stream this game. Now, what's funny is this was mostly a dealer's choice game. So all of this is mostly just Patreon money for dealer's choice, which I just dumped on it. But we have no majority shareholders. Nobody was really invested in this run other than me. However, here's the full list. If you hear your name and you want a refund or you want to put it towards something else, let me know. Either in the comments or right now. Michael Javier Demon Hunter, Asmira Star, Ben Smack, Diabepus, Direct D, DZ Maven, Evil Knights, FR, Fiera Estevez Mike, FF12KD, Fiendish Dogtal, Gwen Hurley, Hat, Hector Anthem, Heston Jayasingi, which I know I'm pronouncing extremely wrong, Ian Galbraith, Ian Yera, Ifenbutt, Jack Autumn, Jimmy Bailey, Joe, Jonathan Book, Joran, Justin T. 1977, Kaidik, Carbon Cry, Crash and Fabs, Chris Vilkier, Kylo Snow, Lee Moo, Lee Andrews, Lore Reloaded, Mac, Mag. I should mention most of these are $1 each, by the way. Manit, Martin, Matthew Maeda, Michael Hardy, Michael Miletta, Michael Svejgaard, Mitchell Brown III, Nexus, Nice Roscoe Porter, Nico Houtinen, Norman Buchwald, Novin, Oddly Brewed, Okami, Andrzej Martel, Paul Finlay, Paul Steensland, Pretzel, Quinn Radich, Rational Ginger, Resonant Arc, Revedicate, Ryman, Robert Lovett, Ross, Sakage, Samir Sinha, Sandermans, Scott Carnegie, Sick Daniel, Schmeidolf, Solar Galax, Spinobi, Spirit, Sussurus, Tastenhauer, Techno, The Tio Eternal, Thabo S. Groom, Theodore Caesar Mosby, Tiny Shroom, TKG Wildfire, Tormacris, Tyler Gilbert, Uchiha Daisuke, Unicorn Scotch, Wenlock, Zala, Grenspector, King Latour, Mr. Red, and Bragwin. Thank you all of you for supporting me and making this run happen. I apologize that this run is not happening. Now, there's two things I want to discuss before we move forwards. First and foremost, I want to do something relatively unprecedented. Something we've never really done before. I want to review this game. I know nobody cares about me. I know I don't matter. But I want to leave a little signpost on my website forever, marking this game and how negative it is. We will give negatives for the launch problems and the launcher problems and the playability problems and the crash problems and the microtransactions, and that's it. Because that's all of the game that we have reviewed. No, we will not watch the game on YouTube. This game does not deserve to be watched on YouTube. I want to leave this little signpost here saying, this game is not even playable. That this game, and again, this isn't just a me problem. This is an extraordinarily common problem that hundreds upon hundreds of people on both platforms are dealing with. Let's see, Mr. Reds was a twofer. So, without further ado, the second thing we need to decide is what the hell we're actually streaming today. We can't do Shoot His Blood and Teeth, because that is reserved for Monday. That's the whole reason we pushed Modern Warfare 2R up. So, interestingly enough, we actually have a bit of precedence for a game literally robbing me. Thanks for that, Hitman. So let's see how many negatives we gave to Hitman for literally robbing me. Let's see here. Looks like I only actually gave 3 negatives for being robbed. I would rather die, Zeiss, that's true. I do like dying. That's why I played Mercenaries just before this. So 3 negatives for being robbed. It's kind of an unprecedented negative, but hey, we managed both in 1 week, so here we are. Let's see. Let's go with... It feels like a weird negative for having to use a launcher to run a game, because that would apply to a lot of games. So I'm not going to give that negative. However, I think I am going to give a negative for how they are shoving microtransactions right in your face. I was actually able to get to the point of seeing the launch page. It's hilariously bad. It's Ubisoft levels. I wonder if they're making any money on it. So, first of all, let me see something here, actually. Hang on a second. You know, that's a fair point. I don't need to run a lot of Ubisoft games from the Uplay launcher. I can find the individual executable and use that if I had to. The fact that they mandate the launcher in this way is kind of wild. And MMOs don't count. That's a little bit different. They need the account info for that. So I'm letting MMOs go on that. MMOs are a different animal, after all. Here we go. So what do we got? What do we have that we can buy? Skins. Yep, skins, 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 skins. Lots of skins, lots of skins. Yep. Lots of... So many skins. Wow. What is this? Fortnite? Oh! Of course they're going for Fortnite. Now, go ahead, Just Shaddix. Now, here's the deal. You probably think I'm being insulting towards Fortnite. And you'd be right! But the thing is, I have to be very careful and precise about exactly what I mean when I say Fortnite. For those of you not aware, Fortnite is actually approaching its marketing strategy from a very specific angle. The overwhelming majority of large-scale franchises have something called visual branding. You might actually have heard that talked about as iconic, right? Or endemic, or visually distinct, or whatever. But you know what I mean. Star Wars looks like Star Wars. Star Trek looks like Star Trek. You know, World of Warcraft looks like World of Warcraft, and FF games look like FF games, right? There's a distinct style and a consistent style that most games go for. Fortnite's actual approach, their actual strategy, is to have no style whatsoever. Their style is to be a smattering of all kinds of other stuff from other things that you can get in this thing. Make sense? If you've ever seen or read Ready Player One, it's that. It's just a grab bag of all these other things shoved into the one thing. Make sense? So that's what Call of Duty is going for. Here's the problem. That doesn't actually work all that well as much as you'd think. In a similar way that a lot of other people's cash grabs don't work. What that does is it appeals to a very specific demographic, who generally speaking are already playing the game they want to play that does that thing. And statistically speaking, that game is already Fortnite. It's like trying to make a new burger joint called McDonald's, and you sell the Big Back. You have to do something a little bit different to take a bite out of McDonald's there. We've actually talked about that exact example before, because Wendy's and Burger King and several other examples I could use did do something different to branch themselves out, to differentiate themselves out from McDonald's, and lo and behold, right? If you just do McDonald's again, well, here we are. So I'm looking at the store. The good news is it looks like the overwhelming majority of this stuff is pure cosmetic. The bad news is that it's not all cosmetic. You can buy guns. Now, obviously, these are skins for guns, but they're also guns with stats. Good stats. I'm actually looking at these, and yeah. They have specific tuners, and they come with little bonuses to them for the fact that you decided to get that specific gun. So you can literally buy better guns in addition to being able to buy skins. Cool. So I'm thinking, I'm not a big fan. One of the defenses people like to level at cosmetic microtransactions is, well, they're just cosmetic. I don't feel like going down the rabbit hole, but as I've said many times, I clicked away. It was too gross for me, just Shadows. As I've said many times, just cosmetic is not a defense of microtransactions. There's a lot of reasons for that, and a lot that goes into that, but the long and the short of it is, I don't care. Just cosmetic microtransactions are still a bad thing. It's just that then being able to buy something like, say, better guns are worse. So, what we've got is negatives for, yeah, the horse armor. The granddaddy of them all. We've got cosmetic microtransactions. Quite a few of them and pretty bad. Triple negative. Then we've got microtransactions being shoved into your face at every level. And again, I wish I could show it to you, but I physically can't. So trust me when I say the store page is very Ubisoft. That's a triple. Exactly, Zacto. Then we get into the fact that you can buy guns that actually have stats. Now, in the interests of total honesty and fairness, because we still have to be fair, even when talking about actual garbage, this could be worse. I've seen worse than this. Because I've played Ubisoft games. I'm just taking it back to Ubisoft today. So I'm only going to give 2 negatives for the buy guns microtransactions, because I was just looking at them just now. They rotate, by the way, which ones are available. So that's cool. Okay, so we've got the fact that I was robbed. We've got the cosmetic microtransactions. We've got the interface forcing you to look at the microtransactions. You've got the purchasable stat transactions. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I know. How about crash negative? Because this is something that is 100% reliable. Oh, I got another one. We actually have a concept for this. It's called a game-breaking bug. Now, on the off chance you've never heard me talk about this, there are bugs, then there are bugs, and then there are bugs. Let me run through this really quickly. Bugs are semi-common. If you've played any Bethesda game ever, you've seen bugs. Usually, bugs are fine. I know that sounds strange, but they are. They're the kind of thing that we actually have a tradition of giving 1 -4 and moving on. Because they're mostly silly or funny or whatever. They're just graphical glitches that don't matter, right? Then you have bugs. Bugs get in the way of the game. Maybe they make it so that, like, the controls don't work. Maybe they make it so, like, the graphics don't render right. Dawn, who just popped into chat, can actually tell me about bugs in a game called Borderlands 3, the Tiny Tina DLC, which we had to put down because 3 of us in the chat, or 3 of us in the group, were all having separate substantial bugs preventing us from playing the game. That's more the middle category of bugs. Those aren't cool. Those are always bad. Then, hang on. There's one category that's even worse than that. The worst possible type of bug is a game breaker bug. Now, game breaker bugs don't necessarily mean you can't get around them. Sometimes you can rejigger your way around a game breaker and still get the game into playable and progression. However, I actually have 2 immediate examples of this for you. First, the game we were playing today. When we were going through Mercenaries 1, Playground of Destruction, there was a reliable bug, progression blocker, I like that term, where, that's true, Rax, we've encountered that too. Twice! Neither was a Bethesda game. So, there's this bug where you've got this helicopter going here, And if you go into the mission area, the game hard locks. That's it. 100% reliable. The only way to progress, and that was an MSQ. You had to do that quest to progress the game. That's a game breaker. The other example I have of that is KOTOR 1. One of the biggest reasons I've hesitated on re-reviewing KOTOR 1 is because of how much of a goddamn hassle it is getting the game streamable, but also because of this game-breaking bug. You see, there's an elevator. There's a portion of the game, I'm not going to spoil for you, where you have to go onto a ship. And when you enter the ship, you have to go through an elevator. It's the only way forward. It's the only way to progress through the game. You cannot beat the game without going through this elevator. If you go through this elevator, the game hard crashes. 100% reliable. For the record, the way we got around that was by running the game in the minimum resolution. And I do mean minimum resolution. Like, I think it's whatever is right below 480p. 240p. If you do that, you can go through the elevator. That's a game breaker bug. Now let's assume for just a second that you decide to launch a game, and the game says, yeah, sure, here you go. Oh, I crashed. With 100% reliability, which of these bugs would you say this falls under? I would say this qualifies as a progression blocker. It's a great term. It's very descriptive. I should mention, once again, that no effort has been made to make this. You can go buy this game right now. It's on sale right now on Steam. So someone somewhere is still doing something with this game that does not involve it being playable. Hang on, it's actually worse than what you're thinking. Now, that does not apply to this review and question, but if you remember, all the Modern Warfare games, including the recent Black Ops games, were all bundled under one launcher. What's the specific thing that's having trouble getting running? What's the thing that reliably crashes every time it tries to load the front store page? So if I wanted to go play Modern Warfare 1R right now, it sucks to be me. I don't remember the full list. There's like, I'm pretty sure one of the recent Black Ops games is on there. The recent, I think it's Black Ops 2? I don't remember. And of course, Modern Warfare 3R. Unplayable. Can't do it. Not possible. So that's 17 negatives to gameplay. That sounds about right. God, I do not know, Rex. I mean, I do know. I even know how they do it. But, like, what? The stated reason, by the way, you're going to find this funny. Because this is topical for this very week. The stated reason for why they have this set up this way is to prevent bots from cheating in the multiplayer matches. That's why I can't play my single-player game that I bought for $75. So, did I use cheats? No. This took 1 day to review. We finished this review on 9/21/2024. And we spent, it looks like about half an hour. So we'll just put 0.5 hours on the game. That sounds about right. Let's go and do our golden number calculation. Let's see. There we go. So that's 0 and -17. It's a little bit too late to get your guesses in, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, I lack the ability to fairly give a game a negative for a story I could not perceive. I think that is actually my current fastest run. Hang on. Let me check, because it's actually pretty tight at the bottom, believe it or not. Yep, nope, it beats out Facet, which was like 50 minutes. And the next shortest is actually Helltaker, which is 1.87 hours. So, here's my review for Modern Warfare 2R. Don't buy this game. Any questions? I hereby award this game a negative 42.5. And I'm gonna do a write-up. I'm gonna put it on the website. I'm gonna put it on the genre sheet. I'm gonna put this little signpost in reality that lists this score forever. Oh, hang on. No, I forgot something. Sorry, hang on. Oh, it's gonna have the garbage tag, too. That's the best part. Hang on, hang on. Yep, sorry, no, it's actually negative 51. My bad. So that is 34 negatives per hour. A new record. Ever. And on that bombshell,